But first, let me start with congratulating myself because you are looking at a new tier over. Thinking about leaving your 9 to 5 but worried about your finances? In today's episode, I'll be sharing with you how I am building my financial safety net and also how I am saving smartly before I take that final leap. Do stick around because this might be the video. In fact, scratch that. This is the video that you have been looking for. Welcome to today's episode, which is episode 3 on my journey to quitting my 9 to 5 job. In today's series, I'm going to be telling you about how I'm building my financial net. But before we do that, let me take you through a recap of what I have been up to from the scratch. Firstly, I talked about how the thought came about, where I talked about my life, my lifestyle, my NYC days, my school days, how I transcended into thinking and believing that 9 to 5 was not for me. So also I talked about in my episode 2, I talked about my checklists where I shared my detailed plans on what to do, what to achieve before I finally take that leap, and what I'm going to do even after taking the leap. So if you would like to know about that checklist, go back to my previous video. I will leave the link somewhere around here so that you can definitely see it and then know how to plan your own checklist. So if you would like to support me on this journey, it's a scary journey, mind you, and it's not one that you just jump into just because you feel like you want to quit, because there are so many responsibilities that you're taking. Yes, remember, adulthood and its scam. If you feel like supporting me on this journey, please, the one way that you can support me, which is absolutely free, is for you to hit that subscribe button, like, and also share, so that you don't know, it might be that the person you are sharing to is actually thinking of leaving his or her job. So help them to get the right plan to make them successfully achieve their aim or their dreams financially. Also, in today's video, I'll be sharing you some of my challenges I've faced and what I've been up to. But first, let me start with congratulating myself because you are looking at the new tier over front-end web developer. It was a 6-month journey. I know some of you will notice that for some time, for about 4 months, I wasn't able to make any videos because I was trying to get the hang of what JavaScript, which is the language I learned actually, what it was talking about. So like I said in my last video on my checklist, I said the first thing that was on my checklist was learning a new skill, which are, to the glory of God, I am happy and so pleased to tell you guys that I have achieved that goal. Now, what were the challenges I faced? The journey was a very tedious one. Firstly, when it started, it was all sweet because I started with learning HTML and CSS, which was the design aspect of coding, and I enjoyed it because although I feel that or in fact, although I feel and I was told that it was because I had a prior design knowledge, so it helped me to know colors, understand how design works, and to be able to tell and differentiate what types of designs, what types of colors, types of fonts, the types of spacings, and the rest to use at some particular places. Another challenge came up when I entered into JavaScript. Wow, JavaScript was, it wasn't too easy, but it was difficult, to say the truth. It took me some time. I had to do more research, go on YouTube, had sleepless nights. In fact, I could not even edit videos again, talk more of even scripting videos. So I had to just pause this journey and start working on myself, making sure I got the steps right, understand the concept of JavaScript. Another challenge came up when I had to start communicating with API. More then things like Axios and API requests, more those things started making me to like think that, am I really going to move towards this direction? Sometimes I will make a mistake. I will go to my superiors and like, see, this is what is happening. This is the mistake, they will still tell me, "Oh, go back and go and research." But on the long run, I really thank and appreciate them. So about my small wins, I could remember a time I was working on a project, and that project had a toggle button. I've never done a toggle button before. Prior to that, I've never done a toggle button without the help of a tutorial. But funny enough, that day I ran out of data and I had to do it. So I cracked my head. I thought about it. I thought about the whole process, and boom, I got it. Oh, I was the happiest person that day. I went to my boss. I was like, so I finally got something without using the internet. I was so happy, and it was so life bringing. Moving into where I am right now on my checklist. So as you guys know, in my previous section, I made a checklist, and to the glory of God, I had achieved my first thing on my list, which was building and learning a new skill. If you're happy for me, let me know in the comment section with a congratulations. Thanks. Having done that, I'm now going into the next thing on my checklist, which is building a financial safety net, also known as an emergency fund. I want to build my emergency fund. So in this video, I'll be taking you through my process, my plans, and what I would like to achieve at the end of the set period, or rather, what I would like to achieve before I finally say I quit when it comes to finance. This stability can make you do things that you know that okay, even if I do this, what's the worst that could happen? Okay, I'll lose maybe 100,000 naira or 500,000 naira. But if you don't have an emergency fund built out, when such things come in, you get scared and you'll be restless and you'll feel depressed into taking decisions that you might not have taken if you had those financial safety nets planned up for you, for yourself. Having said this, if you are on your journey too of quitting like me, I would also like to know if you have started building or if you have built your emergency fund. This brings us to our next subtopic, which is how to save your funds. I learned this particular trick from another YouTuber that the best way to save is to invest. When I mean is to invest, I mean high yield savings accounts. They have several high yield savings accounts, even with banks and fintech applications, especially fintech applications, although it's quite risky because they could just fold up and the rest. So the need for doing this is because just saving in your normal bank accounts will not do it, because they will charge you for maintenance, they'll charge you for different fees, and at the end of the day, inflation would also have a toll on you. But if you are saving in an high interest savings account, inflation, yes, might still hook up on you, but it will not be as much as someone who did not save in such accounts. I'm looking into going very large on investments, especially with ETF, bonds, stocks, and buying of some shares also in different companies, both in Nigeria and abroad. What is my expectation for my emergency fund? Ideally, it is expected that before you think of taking this leap of leaving your 9 to 5, it is mostly expected that one should have at least 6 months of emergency funds stocked up. But how do you go about this? When you are building an emergency fund, there are things you put into consideration. Firstly, you need to know, before you even start it, you need to know what your basic needs are and what your wants are. Because once you have started this journey, you cannot be buying your wants as much as your needs, because those wants will eat a lot into your emergency fund. So you must have to first check your basic needs. What are your basic needs? You're feeding your rent, your utilities, and possibly your habits. If you can be able to track down how your money is being spent, you will see that making a financial safety net is very, very easy. My sources for savings, firstly, is my salary. I will be allocating a particular percentage of my salary every month to my emergency fund. So I will be using Cowrywise for my savings because they have good interest rates, and I think they will be able to give me some good offers of stocks that I could invest in. Like I said, I'll be apportioning like at least maybe between 20 to 30% of my salary every month, because considering the high rate of things and inflation in Nigeria currently, it's almost impossible to have more than this percentage for as your savings, except you have maybe different sources of incomes. I'm thinking of starting a business that is going to be giving me some returns, no matter how little it is, so that can just be going into my emergency funds, so that in little or no time, it's when it accumulates, it will be there. But before I go on, I want to state that my savings, my emergency fund is, I am planning on saving at least 6 months of emergency funds, so that on quitting my job, I can be able to sustain myself for at least 6 months, which I'm very sure that before then, my business would have started picking up very, very perfectly. The last on my list is remote jobs. With my newly learned skill and this digital marketing, I plan on getting remote jobs from different sources, and also getting paid for it. At least that will increase my source of income, and before you know it, I might get to my targets quicker than even expected. So if you're already earning extra income from the sites, please do well to let me know in the comment section. Possibly give me an advice what business to start, because your tips can help me transition into my business life. This is the end of 2024, and as you all know, especially in Africa, we are fond of making New Year resolutions. Well, I did that last year, and it's really helped me in keeping me focused with my dreams and goals. And I must say, I achieved a lot, even if I did not check all the things on the list, but at least I got about 40 to 50% checked off the list. As for my plans for 2025, my number one focus is expanding my network with other digital marketers and going for seminars, talk shows, and possibly becoming a public speaker before the end of 2025. This is really one thing I hope to accomplish in this new year. So in order for me to achieve it, I'll be going to digital marketing meetups, I'll be going for seminars, I'll be going for events sponsored by maybe some of my mentors, some other digital marketers, especially within Nigeria. If you are a digital marketer and would like to hook up with me, I'll be dropping the link to my Telegram group. Do hit on that link and join my Telegram group. Feel free to ask me any question there, because I'll leave the group open for the new user. I'll be dropping updates as to where I'll be going to every weekend, or some weekends that there is a meetup at any particular point. So if you'd like to join me on that journey, do feel free and click on that link in the description. Another solid plan I hope to achieve is developing my freebie, which is also known as my lead magnet. I really need to do that. I've been wanting to do that, but due to the fact that I've been learning my new skill, it has been kind of very tedious for me. So now that I'm at least a bit free, let me put it that way, I will focus more time in developing my freebie. And guys, you are going to love this freebie, because it is going to be out of the box, and you have never seen something like this. So guys, what's your biggest goal for 2025? I would like to know about it. Let me know in the comment section. Let's inspire each other by sharing ideas in the comment section. If you have found any value on this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. And if you're on your own journey to quitting your 9-to-5 job, feel free to watch this video where I talked about the checklist, where I shared my full checklist for quitting my 9-to-5, so that this can serve as a guide for you to follow on quitting your 9-to-5 job. See you next time. Bye for now.